Food series. How sweet it is. Are you aware that every mammal has a desire to taste sweets from the time they're born? And would do go think? Right. Honey bears will climb a tree even though it's very dangerous, climb to all the top and collect honey. And if they can, they will topple the tree over to collect honey. Humans will hang from cliffs to collect honey. Yeah, in Asia. People will risk life and limb, I guess, or limb and life, to collect honey. And honey has been the sweetness ever since man started being farmers. And they're after that sweetness of sugar. Plants, sugar cane, it's you look at it and it's a slave trade. When they found out that they could grow sugar cane in the Caribbean, they brought sugar cane into the Caribbean. Haiti, well known for its sugar cane, and a slave trade. Slave trade in Cuba. Slave trade in the Americans, Mexico, the whole area. Slave trade in Brazil. Yes. It provided sugar, molasses, really molasses. And then, of course, in the Americas, it was made into molasses, sugar molasses went into being stored in oak barrels and became rum. There was a good heavy trade between the slave trade in the Caribbeans and rum manufacture in New England, which of course went back to Africa, which was traded for more slaves, and that's your slave market. Of course, it helps it with a little gold. And rum, the leading manufacturers in the world, comes from the Caribbean, where molasses is turned into rum. And rum was a major drink. Oh, yes. And we have molasses, okay? I think a couple of jars of molasses, but it's not really the drink, considering the stuff I eat all the time or drink all the time. Then we got a thing called table sugar, which is from the sugar cane. And sugar beets. The problem with sugar cane, it's labor intensive. It's easy to stick in the ground and grow in something like 1 to 2 years, but to cut it, it's labor intensive. If you happen to have, quote, slaves in Cuba or Brazil or other countries where sugar cane is a major crop, you got no problem. But again, then you turn that into sugar, and you can turn that into molasses to make rum, which you can sell. Cuban rum is delicious, I hear, but can you get Cuban rum? Well, Cuban rum is sent to places like Canada and can be relabeled, but they don't grow sugar cane in Canada. True. Not yet, but as the temperatures warm up, you never know. They grow grapes in Canada, why not sugar cane? Now there is something called baker's sugar. It is ground sugar, uses a special size crystal used in baking. There is powdered sugar. It's used in icings, on cakes and donuts. Yes. Brown sugar is regular sugar sprayed with molasses. Yeah. Date, palm, and other fruity materials are a mix. They're rare between. I mean, you have to special stuff. They're fermented to become sugars or whatever. They could be a lot easier to turn up. Well, date oil, date sugar, date beer. Date beer? Yes, date beer. Why do you think dates are very popular in Muslim countries? Why, for date sugar. Yes, date sugar. Dates to eat. And you let them sit out for a while and put them in a bowl, and Mother Nature does her thing, and you've got a very delicious ting date. Would I say they get drunk on this stuff? No, I would not say Muslims get drunk on date wine, because date wine is not allowed in a Muslim country. Just so the imam gets his share of the fermented dates. Right. Now we get let's go to syrups. Honey is a product of insects turning pollen of a flower into honey. The problem with honey, and it's a real problem because it's basically from the cone itself, and you don't really want to add heat to the honey except for in baking, or you will have a change of that. They contain bacterial spores from the bee, and it is said do not give it to children under a certain age. I think it's 5. Raw honey, or use raw honey on cereal. Yeah, well, take cautious with this stuff. Yeah. Now, somebody said raw honey can be sterilized, but adding heat to it will change it. And you can turn raw honey into a solid by getting rid of the moisture on it. If you leave raw honey out, say in the refrigerator, the moisture will be sucked out of it, and you will have a solid mass, which I can tell you what is interesting. Boy, look at this jar. Why is this crystallized? Maple syrups, maple and tree syrups. I shouldn't just say maple syrups, because there's some other tree syrups can be boiled down into a syrup and then boiled down to a solid mass. You've had maple sugar candy. Yes, it's a right. It's been boiled down, which I find is very. I like it. Not good for my body, but I like it. Sugar cane molasses are boiled down from sugar cane and other plants, which of course you can brew into fermentation. You can basically make it into an alcohol like rum, which again I tell you, the biggest producers in the rum is the Caribbeans and the Americans. Well, let's see what else we got. Corn syrup. Oh, here we go. I got corn syrup is made from cornstarch, cornstarch, and it lacks any flavors. High fructose corn syrup is partially converted syrup from corn syrup and is from fructose. Oh yes, that's one of the basic ingredients in baking. Well, yeah, baking. It replaces sugar cane. As I said, sugar is an intense labor thing, and if they can get something cheaper and convert corn, well, they can convert it in corn whiskey. I hear that's pretty good too. But that thing, cooking alcohols. Does it burn? I'm reading my notes here. It's usually what is classified as cooking wines, to be used in cooking and not for drinking. The cooking wines carry over the flavor into the foods. But there's a problem with it. They will oxidize if left unrefrigerated. Now, brandy, rum, vodka, and whiskeys and other very strong alcohols will burn in an open flame if applied, and it is possible of having a flare-up. So you must watch where you do, especially if you're doing in a hood. Restaurants have known to have real problems with putting alcohol into a pan and the thing flares up into the hood, which just happens to have grease in the hood. So you have a grease fire in your hood. And in front of restaurants, at the restaurant, they'll rum in there and then they apply the flame. Put it out fast. It's great for show, but put it out. You have to extinguish it fast. Again, because of a flare-up. You're going to burn off the alcohol and add some flavor to it, but again, it is very regulated for a flare-up. Great for show. Okay, well, I'm going to go at that. That's it.